professor at Texas A&M University threatened to fail a group of 15 seniors who, by the way, had already walked the stage at graduation after ChatGPT incorrectly told him that these students had used AI technology to write their essays. Keyword incorrectly. Okay, so as a result, their diplomas have been temporarily denied. And that's according to a fiance of one of these students who was told that they're gonna fail, basically. So on Monday, the professor in question here, Dr. Jared Mumm, who is a livestock judging team coach, and who also teaches agricultural classes at the university, sent an email to this group of students saying that he had submitted grades for their last 3 essay assignments of the semester. So everyone would be receiving an X in the course, Mumm explained, because he had used ChatGPT to test whether they'd used the software to write the papers, and the bot claimed to have authored every single one. So he says in the message, I copy and paste your responses in ChatGPT and it will tell me if the program generated the content, he wrote, saying he had tested each paper twice, very thorough. He offered the class a makeup assignment to avoid the failing grade, which could otherwise, in theory, threaten their graduation status. And he also threatened to report the students to the Office of Academic Dishonesty. Okay. So there is a bit of an issue with his findings and with the strategy, and he should have probably done like a more thorough job in making sure that ChatGPT can even determine whether something was written by ChatGPT. Because guess what? The technology isn't advanced enough yet to do that.
Well, that's not its intent.
It's not its intent.
There is software designed to do that. Some of it powered by AI. That doesn't mean that even that software is foolproof. But ChatGPT can't do it. So like here's what happened. He read some papers and he thought these are either too good or too similar or too good for the individual students. And thus there's a dilemma. I need to discover, was this written by a human or not? And there are a variety of ways that you can do that. You can get actual specialized software and run through that. Some universities use it. You could sit down with the individual students and ask them questions to see if they do understand the material. But all of that is too difficult. So instead, he just had AI do the job for him. That's effectively what he did. He did the thing he's accusing them of doing, taking the easy way out and not even researching if you can trust what ChatGPT says.
Wow, John, you caught him.
I did.
Maybe we should fail him.
Yeah, ChatGPT does not have any capacity to determine whether a statement is true or not.
It's true. I mean, well, no, that's true too. I thought you were gonna say that ChatGPT doesn't have the ability to, well, let me go to the Rolling Stone, okay? Because they found that with very little prodding, ChatGPT will even claim to have written passages from famous novels such as Crime and Punishment. And OpenAI's own tool for determining whether a text was written by a bot has been judged not very accurate by a digital marketing agency that recommends tech resources to businesses. Now, the professor here, Mumm, was clearly unaware of the shortcomings of ChatGPT, if you want to call it that, or the inability for ChatGPT to do what he was trying to get it to do. So students claim they supplied him with proof that they had not used ChatGPT, exonerating timestamps on the Google documents they used to complete the homework, but that he initially ignored this, commenting in the school's grading software system, I don't grade AI BS. Man, it's like.
Did he write that or did ChatGPT write that?
Maybe ChatGPT.
Just ask them questions about the material to see if they understand it.
Also,
that's not that difficult.
I have an even better suggestion.
What?
I don't know for sure what this class was. I mean, he's a livestock judging team coach and he teaches agricultural classes.
That could be a lot of different stuff.
It could be a lot of different stuff.
Business or.
But like, I just think having students write essays lacks imagination. So like, how about don't assign essays? They're college students, maybe find a better way.
I am pro essay.
Of course you are,
and that
John.
is not in any way
of course he is.
connected to the fact that I write a hell of an essay.
Me too though, me too.
But anyway.
I excelled at essay writing.
Yeah.
However, I do feel that essay assignments in college were superfluous.
I think
there were too many.
That's good vocabulary.
I know, because I use them in some of my essays.
Yeah. I just think look, we are facing a dilemma, and the dilemma is not always going to be as comical as the version of it that we just saw. I have a friend, my friend Quay, one of my best friends. He teaches psychology courses. I'm sure he's worried about this. We're gonna have to come up with a variety of different ways to deal with it. But that doesn't mean that just like, oh well, we can never do this anymore. All it is multiple choice. You come in, I watch you, you use a pencil. You can have a conversation and gauge people's understanding of the material. Like the essay is supposed to demonstrate that you understand the material intuitively enough that you can then use it to produce something. But to produce speech with it. If you can't do that, then what was the point of the essay? You clearly didn't actually understand it.
That's such a good point.
And maybe essays are a terrible judge of understanding anyway. I'll leave that to people who study this sort of stuff, but.
I mean, I gotta say, I'm not teaching right now, but when I was teaching journalism classes, I mean, it's journalism. So of course, some of the assignments require the students to go out and do journalism and send in their articles, right? And I kind of hated it, even though like it was a necessary assignment, because then you have to grade them.
Yeah.
So like, think about that, professors. Think about that.
I used to grade a lot of papers in grad school too. It's rough.
Sucks.
It's rough.
Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst.
Big stack. I didn't hate it as much as I think some people do.
Yeah.
Because I want the kids to understand.
No, don't get me wrong. It's necessary, and I would absolutely assign them. I hated grading papers.
Yeah.
Like, can we just take a moment to really appreciate educators? In general, like doesn't matter if they're in grade school, doesn't matter if they're high school educators, doesn't matter if they're college educators. Their jobs are so difficult because it's not just what they're doing inside the classroom. It's the hours and hours, if not days of prep that's dedicated to the lesson plan. It's the late nights grading papers and really taking your time to provide detailed notes to your students so they're actually learning and interacting. And you know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff. It's a lot of work. And people just think like, oh yeah, teachers, they have like 3 months of paid vacation every year, except they don't. They don't.
Yeah, they're
really.
working other jobs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, some of that was a lot of work. Now a lot of graders, TAs are probably just going to throw it in ChatGPT and say, grade this for me. But we'll see. I probably would have back when I was a grader. But yeah, look, this is a big complex problem or whatever. This guy did not handle it.
He didn't
at all.
He didn't handle it well. Okay, so I'll fast forward a little bit and tell you how this story developed. I don't think it's the end yet because I think more of these students should be, I guess, exonerated, if you want to call it that. So in a statement, Texas A&M confirmed this whole incident, okay, saying that no students failed the class or were barred from graduating as a result of this issue. The professor is working with the students to determine whether AI was used to write their assignments, and if so, at what level. Like, so he's still not convinced.
Well, look, I don't know how big the class is. But let's say it's 50 people. Definitely some of them used AI. I don't know how many.
I have no idea. I'm not going to speculate on that. I have no idea.
I know what humans are like. I have a feeling a lot are probably using AI, but that doesn't mean they all did. A few of the students didn't
even know what ChatGPT is, which I can totally believe. I can totally believe.
They were using Bard instead.
I don't know what Bard is.
It's an alternative generative text tool. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Anyway,
some of them probably were.
But one of the students, so far, one student has been exonerated thanks to timestamps on a Google document. Just let them go. Let them go. They gotta go. They just graduated. Let them finish and move on with their lives.
I will sign on to that.
Right?
Let them go.
Let them live.
And go deal with the animals or whatever.
Animals are innocent.
And so are the students, except for the ones that aren't, because they definitely used AI. But not half of them.
You're the professor.
No.
That's what you're doing.
No,
That's a side hustle.
I suspect.
He's Professor Mum.
I wouldn't fail.
Mum's the word.
I wouldn't fail everyone. I would suspect.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.